Auburn. Let's get you back out to Auburn as the women get ready to take on Virginia Tech. Roy Philpott and Deb Antonelli coming your way.
Laura, thank you very much. Back here inside of Auburn Arena. Undefeated Virginia Tech, ranked number 24 in the country, getting set to tangle with Auburn. 31-2 in non-conference play here at home the last 5 years. And everybody, great to have you on board once again. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott courtside. A lot of fireworks already as the men for Auburn won a buzzer beater over Mercer earlier. We think this one's going to be just as good.
Yeah, I think you're right, Roy. This should be a lot of fun. I mean, Virginia Tech, basically the same personnel with a little more experience and playing in a different system under first-year head coach Kenny Brooks. They've done a terrific job. They're undefeated with a win over Tennessee already this year.
Very impressive, and led by Jeanette Nix, who has 47 steals this year. Her vision on the floor this season, Debbie, has been phenomenal.
She's terrific at managing their pace, and that is managing their pace on both ends, Roy, because at the point of their press, at the point of their pressure, she guards the ball up the floor, and she can turn you over. Great quickness, good explosiveness, which also transfers to the offensive end, where she leads this team in scoring, assists, and steals. She is second in the nation at nearly 5 per game.
She really does it all. Meanwhile, for Auburn, coming in at 8-2 and fresh off a win against Louisiana Tech. How about the play of Katie Firking? She has been phenomenal this season as well.
Well, you know seniors play with a sense of urgency, and Katie Firking has certainly done that. She leads the team in scoring and rebounding, in assists and steals. She is the key to their success because she can make things happen on the offensive end, particularly when Auburn can struggle to score.
Number 13 in white, 3.1 steals per game, leads the SEC as well. As the starting lineups being introduced. Critical non-conference game, league play right around the corner for both of these squads. And certainly you'd love to get a win before all that gets going at the end of this month. A look at the starting lineups. We mentioned Hicks, Sidney Cook, Reagan McGarity also rounding out the starting 5 for number 24, Virginia Tech. Then a pair of sisters, Jasmine Jones, Jessica Jones, the 2 forwards. They've done a nice job this year on the glass and also efficient in the scoring department as well. So just about set, ready to go. If you missed our early game today between the men at Mercer and here at Auburn, a tremendous comeback win, buzzer beater fashion, 3-pointer as time expired to lift Bruce Pearl's Tigers to the win. Kenny Brooks leading Virginia Tech in his first season, the former head man at James Madison. It's a new era in Blacksburg, and he's kind of changed the complexion of their offensive attack. Terry Williams Flournoy, head coach, Coach Flo, as we affectionately like to call her, see the 31-2 record in home non-conference games. They have been dominant here inside of Auburn Arena. Just about ready to go. McGarity against Jones, and the opening tip controlled by the Hokies.
You'll see a very quick tempo on the offensive end by Virginia Tech. They like to play with pace. They do a good job of moving the ball side to side. Matchup zone for Auburn. That's the calling card for Coach Flo.
Corner triple on the way. It is good. Sidney Cook connects, and Virginia Tech strikes first.
That is only the second triple all season for Sidney Cook. What a start on the road for the Hokies.
1 for 17 from bonus land before that shot. Just underway in Auburn. Tigers coming into this win at 8-2.
That'll be a matchup to keep your eye on, Roy. Excuse me. Is who's guarding Brandy Montgomery, which is Vanessa Panousis, who just got beat on the glass.
Firking off the mark with her first shot attempt. 30 points her last time out in the win against Louisiana Tech, and a double-double. She's got 4 this season, Debbie. You love to see these emerging players take hold in this conference. McKay off the glass with a left hand, a strong finish.
Now that's how you turn the corner, and it allows Auburn to set up some of their 3-quarter pressure.
Winning strategies for Virginia Tech. You like the ball fake against this aggressive defense for Auburn.
Ball fake versus a defensive fake. See, Auburn's going to stunt, and they're going to jab, and they're going to do that on the defensive end. You got to ball fake them so you can get the offense that you need, because for Kenny Brooks, offense does travel. His team is very solid on the offensive end, and they do all the details that you would expect them to do with a 10-0 record.
December details, dare we say.
Details.
First foul against Jasmine Jones. First team foul as well. Virginia Tech back to work. A minute and a half in. Cook again for 3. Count it. 6 points in 90 seconds.
Really? I mean, come on. The kid's hit 1, and she hits the first 2 of the game. That's confidence. See, that's a perfect example of what Kenny Brooks has built here at Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech with a 6-2 advantage. Auburn back to work as we take a look at their winning strategies. Transition defense is going to be critical.
Yeah, they have to get back, and they've got to run the three-point shooters for Virginia Tech off the three-point line. Here you can see the start is Sidney Cook knocking down triples, and you don't even expect her to hit them.
Yeah, that's almost like a bonus. Whip it outside. McGarity nearly lost control of it. 17 on the shot clock. Ball movement has been crisp. Deep 3 on the way. Off the mark. Rebound by Firking. McKay in transition. Bumped and the foul. Jeanette Hicks picks up her first.
That's quick on quick at the point guard position with McKay for Auburn and Jeanette Hicks, for Virginia Tech.
Hokies out to this 10-0 start. First-year head coach Kenny Brooks. He's given this team more freedom offensively, and they have responded in a major way.
I think when you drill repetitiously over and over, you gain confidence, and that is what Kenny Brooks has brought. He's brought a system that they can excel in, take advantage of his personnel, and they like to shoot the 3. Look at that trap off that ball screen.
Firking thought about it. 7 to shoot baseline. Forces one up. No good and out of bounds. Back to the Hokies.
See, that was a great stretch of the double by McKay, which gave her a chance to have some vision, and she makes the right read to reverse it.
Full court pressure now for the Auburn Tigers. Samantha Hill has it. 25 now. Will work it out front to Jeanette Hicks. A wide start. The player that's second in the country total steals this year. And checking in for the first time will be Zhang. Jones just picked up her second. That's Jasmine Jones with her second personal, and she'll head to the bench.
Now, Katie Zhang has been out the last couple of games with injury. This is her first time back. She did practice yesterday. And I know Coach Flood was planning on using her, but I'm sure it wasn't this early.
Yeah. 2 personals will force her hand. Corner triple on the way. Nearly got the bounce. First miss for Cook. 6-2, Hokies out in front. And an offensive foul. Virginia Tech will take over.
That's a good call. Point of emphasis, reference and emphasis. Yeah, she walked.
And the Hokies will give it right back as Hicks shuffle the feet.
And Hicks, the point guard for Virginia Tech, and Janiah McKay, the point guard for Auburn, both the same size, both sophomores. Great matchup to keep your eye on. Number 33 in white here with the ball, number 12 in orange.
Auburn just 1 for 4 from the floor to start this one, trailing by 4. Okay, against Hicks, the matchup you talked about, Debbie. Inside to Zhang off the glass. Can't spin it home. Hokies control. And here's Hicks, the crossover. From 17. Hill is short. Hokies get it back. Panousis running the point now, top of the key.
Panousis used to be the point guard until Hicks showed up.
Off the pump fake, Hill, the mid-range jumper.
Now, Roy, let me tell you something about Samantha Hill. Last year, she would not have taken that shot. She missed it in the early part of the possession. They got the rebound. It was the same shot, a 1-dribble pull-up. She has significantly improved. She only had 79 points all of last year in 32 games. She's got over 100 points in 10 games.
Averaging 10 per contest coming in. A wild shot off the mark. Here comes Hicks, looking out in front. And a dangerous pass nearly picked off. It'll stay with Virginia Tech.
This is what I wish for Christmas. All Division I women's basketball players would have this. Pump, 1 dribble, pull up, stick it.
Not in this era. You don't see it all that often.
Can you get that for me for Christmas, Roy?
I cannot, as much as I would like to. Work on your free throws, kids. Work on the mid-range game. And the points come by themselves. Kender stepped out of bounds. 2 turnovers for the Hokies. They lead it by 6.
Yeah, this is a Virginia Tech team that's 3rd in the nation in turnovers. They're +6 in their margin. They only turn it over 11 times a game. That's excellent.
4 starters back for this Virginia Tech program. Halfway through the first quarter. In traffic, off the mark. McKay was off. And now Hicks. On a scrum, Hicks somehow comes out of there with it.
Hicks took the ball over the top of Katie Furking, and Coach Flo was over there calling for the carry.
And I think she was right.
I think she was.
Inside to Jones. And she'll shoot too. Jessica Jones, sister of Jasmine Jones. That free throw's coming up. Inside. And free throws in just 1 minute. On campus at Auburn University on a chilly, wintry day here in December. 8-2 the score. Number 24, Virginia Tech with the advantage. Halfway through the first quarter. Great to have you on board today. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, our SEC storylines. Debbie, what do you like?
Well, South Carolina with a big win at home over UCLA earlier today, and that's huge for them, and the RPI for the league is outstanding. Mississippi State is in a battle on the road with Southern Cal. They're trailing at the half, and I cannot wait for SEC play to begin on January 1st. I will get to be at South Carolina for that opener for them against Alabama.
It's going to be a lot of fun. A deep conference once again. Curious to see if the Gamecocks can continue their winning ways and be a #1 seed once again this year.
Well, you know, Charlie Cream's bracketology didn't have them as a #1 last week, but if you win the SEC, you will be a 1.
I think that's solid.
Yes.
No question. Auburn's defense has also been solid. You see the number of turnovers forced this year. Nearly 26 per game, and the steals have come in bunches as well. 3rd in the country. So far, it's been a cold start from the floor, just 1 for 7.
Well, they generate a lot of their offense and their pace off their defense. This is a team that every possession is in a stance, and they understand how to move collectively and how to defend in that matchup zone. And one of the things that yesterday at practice Coach Flo talked about was defending outside in, when typically their matchup is designed to defend inside out. So instead of having 2 feet in the paint on the weak side, you're going to have 1 foot in the paint and 1 so that you can get over to the skip pass to run the Virginia Tech players off the 3-point line.
How is a coach able to come in 1 season and turn things around so far the way that Kenny Brooks has? You touched on it a little bit earlier, but I find it fascinating what he's been able to do.
Well, I agree. You know, when you look at Kenny Brooks, and he's had opportunities to leave James Madison in the past, and he waited until it was the right one for him and his family. In the last 11 years, he's been in the postseason every year, 6 tournaments, or 6 NCAAs, 5 NITs. He's averaged 26 wins in the last 11 years, so
wow.
He has a formula for success, and he got buy-in from a veteran team that wants to play in the NCAA tournament.
That can mean everything.
Absolutely. He had plenty of talent to work with. The cupboard was not bare when he got to Virginia Tech, so he has been able to turn this into an undefeated 10-0 start, which has just absolutely been one of the best stories in college basketball early on.
Beating number 17 Tennessee in the process, and a 10-second violation. We'll give it back to the Tigers. You see the production. Offensively, numbers are way up. Defensively, similar, but the turnover margin and the rebounding.
Yeah, that's the big thing, and playing in a system that maximizes your personnel. You know, there's some coaches that just have a system and that's the way they play, and they recruit to that system. And there's others that take their talent and fit them in to what they need to win.
Off the screen, Tiffany Lewis connects. First triple of the contest for Auburn. They trail it by 3. Transfer from Clemson, averaged 8 points and 4 boards there. It's been a quality pickup for the Auburn Tigers. And Panousis, trying to dribble around the defense, was fouled.
This is an aggressive, athletic Auburn defense. And this is a great job coming off that screen by Lewis to knock down the triple.
Furking picks up her first. Under 4 to play in the first quarter. 8-5 our score. Hill will dump it down low to Cook, who's had the hot hand, and that continues. 8 points here in the first quarter.
Well, that's where you want to get the basketball against the matchup, in that high post, in where the SEC logo is. Make plays out of there. If you've got somebody who can make plays from there, then you have an advantage.
Erking thought about it. Cook averaging 14 points per game. The transfer from Seton Hall already with 8.
Good defense.
Bounce pass inside. And too strong for Jessica Jones. Foul in the paint, and Auburn set to shoot free throws.
That was a terrific slip and a good find by McKay. See, I don't think you start the conversation with Auburn about Janiah McKay, but by the end of the year, I think you're going to be starting the conversation with her. We know about Frere King and what Brandy Montgomery can do offensively, and you know there's the matchup zone. McKay could be a key to their success to make another return back-to-back years to the NCAA tournament. She's got to handle, she's got to get the ball to the right people at the right time. She's got to be very good defensively, and she has to stay out of foul trouble.
Personal foul win against Hill. That's her second. And Jones now 2 of 4 at the line, matching her season average at 50%. Jessica Jones will check out. Back in, Amari Jones, sophomore from Chicago. Against the full court pressure, Hicks will break them down. Panousis, corner triple, 4-point play opportunity. What a shot.
That's how good of a three-point shooter Vanessa Panousis is. She's the all-time career leader in made threes at Virginia Tech. And this pass is almost going out of bounds, but she can catch it and gather. Watch where the pass goes. She has to reach all the way across her body to the left side. Shooters don't like to do that. They don't like to reach, and they don't want to drop their hands.
How about 4 the hard way for number 5? Under 3 to play in the first quarter. Virginia Tech with a 7-point lead. Auburn attacking. Missed the chippy. Here's Hicks. 2-on-2, stop and pop. Count it.
Beautiful. To go full speed like that and stop and drop it.
Got the classic jump stop there before the shot. And here's another steal. Hicks in traffic, off the glass. And Hicks taking this basketball game over. An 8-0 run for the Hokies to extend this lead out to 9, make it 11 after that last layup. Well, a timeout for Auburn, and Virginia Tech having its way right now on the road.
Well, we talked about Hicks's ability to take over a game. This is what she does. A contested 2 in transition, doesn't over-penetrate. And then off the deflection, she is quick to shoot the gap to get the ball. 1 dribble to the rim. Great finish. And she's got an aggressive mindset on both ends of the floor and is in incredible condition. This is a well-conditioned, both these teams are in incredible shape, actually, to play the paces that they play.
I think she's worth the price of admission. You see the numbers so far, just does so many things. I love her court vision, both on offense and defensively with the quick hands.
Kenny Brooks told me yesterday, sometimes he turns around to say something to his bench, and all of a sudden she's got the ball, and like he has to ask somebody, how did she get it? Because it was so quick. It happened so fast.
With the full court pressure, Auburn will set up its offense, just 15 to shoot. Montgomery's had a quiet start, the senior. Outside to Zhang. 3 to shoot. Tigers have to hurry. McKay off the glass.
Big time play. Hey, if these 2 point guards want to take over the game, you and I are going to have a great time watching it over here.
I think so. Under 2 to go in the first quarter. Frenetic pace on both sides. Moose has thought about it. And a 3-pointer, an air ball. Brooks well off the mark. Now Furking, the turnaround with a bounce.
Yeah, if they're going to come back, they got to get the ball to Katie Furking. She's got to run. They got to find her on the offensive end.
18-11, approaching a minute to play in the first quarter. And here's another steal. Katie Zhang ahead to McKay off the glass. Talk about a bounce back here really quickly, 18-13, and Virginia Tech has seen that 11-point advantage trimmed to just 5. And another outstanding play, the charge call. Amari Jones had established position and a 6-0 run for the Tigers at home.
Off the steal, the deflection, and then Katie Zhang in the middle of the floor. Good finish by McKay. Now the pace is picking up a little bit.
Well, we've seen Auburn this year score as many as 32 points in a quarter. They did that in the comeback against Indiana.
They've got to get it off their defense, Roy. They have got to generate some possessions there.
Tyra Johnson will sit it outside to Montgomery. The stutter step. Now Zhang, the backdoor pass off the glass. Nicely done. Montgomery with a basket.
Good call from the bench.
Hicks hit the deck. Finds the open man. That's McGarity.
How does she make that pass?
I don't know.
She's fallen out of bounds.
It was shocking. I stole the words right out of my mouth. The lead is 5. The shot clock is off for Auburn. Five seconds inside Furking. Can't get it to go. An impressive start for number 24, undefeated Virginia Tech. The 5-point advantage. And we're excited about the hand clap hoopla, which is coming up next. D. Nelly in the fold. We'll explain that in just a couple of minutes. You'll want to stay tuned for this, I promise you.
Get everybody together. Time to move.
Turn it up. I can make your hands clap.
Hand clap hoopla, you can't beat it. D. Nelly, Arpot, we're back here courtside.
We're ready.
I tell you what, I love to participate in this, but this is really a cool little deal that you guys came up with several months ago.
Hey, you got to give it to Beth Chappell.
Yeah.
She's the one that came up with it, our producer. We spent 6 hours singing I Can Make Your Hands Clap.
That's it. ESPNW.com/handclap. Go there now. Create your own video, and who knows, it may be on one of our next broadcasts.
You can borrow these if you want. I will send them to whoever tweets me first that wants to use these glasses in their video. It might help you win.
We need to get Coach Pearl. I saw him walking around earlier. I think we can get him maybe to participate as
I bet
well.
he would love to do some hoopla with
Even
us.
this guy.
Santa's in the house.
Even this guy. Great turnout of fans. Appreciate you being here. Go to ESPNW.com/handclap for much more. D. Nelly. I like that. Maybe that's your rap name?
Rap name, yes, sir.
Bruce Pearl very excited. His team come from behind victory about 2 hours ago here in this same building. 3-pointer at the buzzer. Prevent the upset by the Mercer Bears out of the Southern Conference. I got to readjust my eyes. Start of the second quarter, and Virginia Tech a 5-point advantage, trying to remain undefeated. Tigers have hit 5 of their last 8 field goals after a 1-for-7 start and make it 6 for their last 9.
Brandy Montgomery is a streaky shooter. If she gets hot, she can change the complexion of the game quickly, like she did in that come-from-behind win over Indiana.
Preseason All-SEC second team announced several months ago. First big basket this evening. 20-18, top of the key. Hicks off the mark. The offensive glass and the stick back is McGarity. Brother plays college basketball at Davidson, a 4-point advantage. A basketball family for number 11 in orange. A fireworks so far inside of Auburn Arena this afternoon. McGarity another board.
Yeah, what a finish to the men's game in here. Well, that was fun.
We're still trying to catch our breath from that one.
1.4 on the clock, down 1, and they hit a corner triple to win it, does Auburn. TJ Dunning, who had only had 2 threes on the season coming into the game, hit 3 in the game today.
2 of 17, hits 3 today, and the runner off the mark by McKay. You just never know. It's one of the reasons we love college basketball so much. Anything can happen.
double dip today is always fun, too.
Yes, it
Love
is.
a day with 2 games.
Cook back to work in the paint, rejected, and an offensive foul. So Cook out of control, picks up the personal. And a reminder, Arkansas Little Rock versus Florida, Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern. SEC basketball is back as the Gators celebrate the unveiling of their new arena. Should be a lot of fun. Also streaming on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. McKay.
Great dish.
So Jessica Jones, the junior from Winston-Salem, shooting 60% from the field this year. That's one of the reasons why.
You got a ball fake against this defense. They're overplaying. They're up the line. They're aggressive. At times, they're above the ball.
Hicks turns it over. One more look.
Watch the decision-making right here. Splits the defense, drops it off. Jones is above the block. So where you're supposed to finish.
Hokies now come out in the 2-3 zone. Trap in the paint as Furking goes to work. She loses it out of bounds. 2-point advantage for the Hokies. They've led by as many as 11 in this contest. Second impressive win against Bowling Green. Its last time out. Auburn forces another turnover. And I do believe that our request has been granted. As Bruce Pearl is set to join us, and maybe we'll talk some women's hoops and also about what was an impressive come from behind, borderline miraculous win moments ago. Coach, great to have you on board. Bruce Pearl joins us right now.
Just like we drew it up.
Yes,
right?
Nothing
right,
to
Coach.
it, right?
Just like we drew it up. Now, great day for basketball here at Auburn. This is a great game. They're 2 really good teams. This looks like it's going to come right down to the wire as well.
Montgomery, her 3rd field goal in this quarter. Auburn back in front by a point. Cook with the response.
Coach, the emotional swings for you up and down with the young team. What was it like today on the sideline?
They were young early on. D'Angelo Purifoy's had 27 back-to-back, and he had 7 today. He was distracted a little bit. Mustafa Heron got his big boy pants on, started driving it down the lane there late. And getting Austin Wiley worked into the mix, he makes a difference for us on the inside.
Blocking foul as Hicks attacks. I want to ask you about Wiley, Coach. 5-star prospect. He's practiced for you probably a total of 20 minutes, and he gives you 15 today in the game.
And he was out there when it mattered at the end. Both his parents went to Auburn. You know, Vicky, you remember
right.
Vicky?
Oh, sure.
Vicky,
absolutely.
she was an Olympian. She was a great pro, and so he was born to be an Auburn man. And he's been working really hard to graduate early. It happens often in football, but not as often in basketball. So I think you're going to start seeing a little bit. But we're going to be a much better team once we get him in the mix. But he probably knows about 10% of what we actually do.
Coach, when you recruit a guy like him and you have his mother, who was the kind of player that she was, with the motor and the energy and the IQ and the toughness, do you automatically believe that's going to transfer, and do you think it will with him?
I definitely do. Dad was a leading rebounder in the SEC his senior year. He's got it. But the interesting thing, Dad, what we had to do is convince him that he could come to Auburn, not have to go to Kentucky or North Carolina or Duke, in order to be developed, in order to, to try to be a pro or to compete and to win. And the fact that we've got a great following, and he saw the fact that this programming is going in the right direction. He didn't have to leave state. He could stay home. And, of course, he made his mom and dad really happy.
So you've got all these talented freshmen. As the offensive foul, Auburn gets the basketball back. But yet a senior hits the game winner for you. Just how you drew it up, right? What happened there?
Well, on the last possession, he was the 3rd option. We didn't execute it very well. Mustafa made a really good play, just getting it in at Dunnins. And sometimes you don't necessarily want your best shooter shooting it. You want your toughest kid. TJ Dunnins is my toughest kid. He's not afraid of anything. He's hung in there this year, and I'll tell you what, if this could get him going a little bit as he takes ownership of the team. You do want your seniors to be the leaders, and I think Dunnins, this is going to help Dunnins lead the team.
Hokies by a point, and there's the follow through by McKay, and Auburn right back out in front, 25-24.
Bruce, I know you respect the women's game. I know you follow it and you pay attention. What have you seen in what Terry is doing here at Auburn?
Well, I'll tell you what, she's fearless. They run that I call that 1-2-2 full court into the drop back, and nobody runs it better. and they drill it constantly, and they all buy in. That is a family right there, I'm gonna tell you right now. And with Katie knocking down shots like that, and Montgomery they've got a couple of girls that got some strong offensive weapons, and they all play defense, and they all share it. But the only thing they're missing is not that true post. But this is Auburn basketball right here.
Birking with the three, another steal. Montgomery had that shot bothered. And Virginia Tech takes over. Auburn with its largest lead, Coach. As soon as you sat down with us, you brought some good luck.
Well, you know what? I've been blessed to be at Iowa and be great basketball there, and obviously to spend time with Pat at Tennessee. It's been it's been a part of my DNA a little bit. And gosh, I miss Pat so much. And what an amazing loss for all of us. Pat's in a better place because her faith was so strong. She's living the dream right now. She is. But for the rest of us, it was just too soon.
You and I were talking about how every day there's something that you can't be in the game and not have something happen that doesn't remind you of Pat.
It does, and it's interesting, when we're talking about some of the challenges, I had to suspend 2 players off the floor, and we were talking about what that's all about, and when I was talking about how he handled it, she said, well, that's probably how Pat would have handled it. The best compliment I got all day long was for her to tell me that's how Pat would have handled it.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we've got a Christmas present for you right now. Rod Bramlett with the call of the game winner about 90 minutes ago. Let's have a listen.
No timeouts for Auburn. Aaron's got to hurry up. Finally throws it in to Dunnins, puts it up at the buzzer. Good! Auburn wins!
Just like we drew it up, man. And then I'm over there praying, going, God, I know I didn't go to church this morning, but please make sure that basket was good. Mercer, they earned the win. Mercer did a great job, and it's a tough loss for them, but a great win for our program.
Coach, thank you.
War Eagle, guys.
Dane Bradshaw, Laura Rutledge, and when we see you on the SEC Halftime Report, we'll have highlights from the Tennessee and South Carolina women taking on top-ranked opponents. And just there, we saw Bruce Pearl talking once again about that buzzer beater by Dunnins. What's your reaction?
Made it a lot easier to stick around for the girls' game after the win. One of the best buzzer beaters you will see.
It was pretty exciting. We can't see enough of it. Let's go back out to Auburn with Roy and Deb.
Laura Dane, thank you very much. Here inside of Auburn Arena, the fireworks have been aplenty. Here towards the end of December, a 1-point advantage for the Tigers, who, by the way, trailed by as many as 11 points just moments ago. They have come all the way back to reclaim the lead. An impressive bounce-back performance. And how about T.J. Dunnins, the game winner? After a cold start to his season, the senior rises up when his team really needed it. And listen, Debbie, that's going to be an important, perhaps resume-building win come March if this team has true postseason aspirations, and certainly Bruce Pearl thinks they do.
Well, no question, that's a good RPI win. Don't discount how good Mercer is and how well coached they are. And you heard Coach talk about T.J. Dunnins. If he can be the leader, if this is the event that turns on the switch for him and he takes over, he was hard to be. They couldn't guard him off the bounce today. He was really good going to the rim.
I know something that you noticed when Bruce Pearl did his post-game interview with the Auburn radio folks. He made it a point to campaign for everybody to stick around for this game. What you heard from him moments ago is not lip service. It's not an act.
No.
He feels it. He breathes it. He is Auburn. That's what he does.
Yes, and he understood when he got the Tennessee job, the first person he went to see was Coach Summit. He understood how important that relationship would be for him and for his time as a coach. You just want to learn from as many people as you can learn from. The other thing I know that Coach Pearl respects is guys like Kenny Brooks and coaches like Terry Flournoy who have gone through it the right way. They've come up through the ranks. They didn't just plop down in these jobs. They worked to get to where they are, just like he has.
Hicks thought about it. Cook, the fadeaway. And from just inside the three-point arc, her hot hand continues. She's got 12. Auburn by a point, time winding down here in our second quarter. Montgomery launches. Count it.
Yes.
Both teams heating up.
Streaky.
Montgomery basically did nothing in the first quarter, now with 11 points.
Brandy Montgomery's older sister played at Virginia Tech for Beth Dunkenberger, who was the previous coach, 2 coaches before. Dennis Wolf was the coach last year.
Inside the basket, good for the Hokies. Knockadil with the hoop. In her first game back, she left the team for personal reasons. Now has returned to perhaps provide a spark off the bench. Jessica Jones.
You get that ball inside that zone and you can make plays.
Trapping pressure once again. The half-court sets for the Auburn Tigers. Cook, the turnaround. A rare miss. McGarity on the offensive glass. And the putback.
A great effort by Reagan McGarity. You want to get the ball inside, right near that logo. It's a great feed inside, and Jones finishes. And then McGarity, excuse me, does a great job of staying active on the glass and pursuing the basketball.
First foul against Amari Jones. McGarity 64% at the line this year. See the numbers. Stuff in the stat sheet. 7 and 7.
I think she's a big-time player. I think Reagan McGarity is just starting to scratch the surface of what she can become. She's had an on and off hurt and injured career so far at Virginia Tech, but when she's healthy, she's a big body who can stretch the D, who can score and rebound, who can defend inside.
Nine seconds on the shot clock. Montgomery thought about it. Elbow jumper on the way. Back iron. By the way, I do want to give some props to our good friend Rod Bramlett, the Auburn IMG Network, for that call that we gave you a few minutes ago. One of the best in the business, as Auburn fans can attest to. Good friend of mine, he does his job the right way as well.
3-on-1, you got to convert.
Three-pointer, all net, Panousis.
See, that's a 5-point swing because it's a 2 you didn't get, which allowed Virginia Tech to get a transition 3.
And the Hokies, just like that, Debbie, right back out in front, approaching a minute to play in the second quarter. Been an entertaining game as we expected. Both of these teams with enough firepower to make a lot of runs.
This is a possession-by-possession game. Now, Virginia Tech is going to have to deal with the pressure and play under duress the whole game, so they're going to have to make decisions. This is where you build in game slippage.
Burking from the baseline. Tied at 37 and a timeout on the floor. Hokies will talk things over in what's been a back-and-forth affair so far.
And this is why you practice so hard, so that you're prepared for possessions when you have to execute against aggressive defenses. It's called game slippage, and we'll look to see in the fourth quarter who has the best stamina, because that's the way this pace is going.
Working silky smooth coming off that 30-point outburst in the win against Louisiana Tech. Another double-double.
It's a great pull-up jump shot. Doesn't over-penetrate. Uses the bounce to improve her angle to the rim.
Well, be sure to tune in December 28th for the next SEC story. Before they were Cowboys. The story of Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, who came together at the University of Arkansas to help lead the 1964 Razorbacks to a national championship in the school's last undefeated season. Before they were Cowboys, presented by Chick-fil-A, December 28th at 9 p.m. That's on the SEC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. I know my man Clint Sterner will be watching that, the former Arkansas quarterback. I worked with him yesterday, the New Mexico Bowl out in Albuquerque on the radio. And he is always hip to what's going on in Fayetteville. Of course, Jerry Jones still leading the charge for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about Tony Romo right now?
I do not want to, because everybody else in the sports world appears to be.
Right.
And it's too much controversy, and the playoffs haven't even started. Under a minute to play in the second quarter. We're tied at 37. Virginia Tech protects the basketball well, but not today. We had an opportunity for a 2-for-1, decided against it. Baseline, McGarity. Beautiful ball movement. Panousis on the way. Count it.
See, now that is why you have a high IQ point guard. She could have taken that 3, but Panousis is a better three-point shooter.
She has 10, Debbie. The shot clock is off.
Teams that make that one more pass, that extra pass.
Pass up the good shot for a great one. Burking, baseline, short. An entertaining first half comes to a close. Back and forth we went. Montgomery with 9 points in the second quarter to pace the comeback. Auburn trailed by as many as 11 early in this one. Reclaimed a 4-point advantage and now trail by 3. 40-37 our halftime score. We send you down to the studio with Laura Rutledge. Laura.
Well, thank you, Roy, and welcome to the SEC Halftime Report. We'll be with you here to get you ready and up to date on a few other scores from around the league in women's hoops. So let's dive right in. We'll start with South Carolina taking on UCLA in a top 10 matchup. And Elena Coates, well, she continues to be the story for South Carolina. She took over this game in the third. Coates off the inbounds for 2. Then Coates down low is able to bank one in. Coates off the miss, able to follow and finish in traffic. Coates 13 points, 13 rebounds on Sunday. Fourth quarter, South Carolina up 9. Alicia Gray on the drive. She's able to score and draw the foul, and she would make the free throw to go up 12. Then off the miss, Tyasha Harris with the putback. South Carolina wins it 66-57. And Coates with her 49th career double-double, second most in school history. Let's get you to Dawn Staley after this big win.
I thought, we were, picking up steam as the game went on. And, I looked at UCLA and I saw the fouls mounting. And I thought they got a little exhausted, too, just playing at that pace. And with our bigs in foul trouble sitting almost the whole second quarter, I just felt like we would have a burst where we needed to have a burst in the second half, and I thought that took place.
Well, Kentucky, 19th ranked in the country, taking on Radford. And first quarter, Kentucky up 3. Macy Morris comes up with a steal, gets it to Jada Roper, who finds Michaela Epps for the layup. Wildcats led 15-8 after the first. The second quarter, Wildcats up 12. Paige Poffenberger forces another turnover, and on the other end, Epps knocks down the mid-range jumper. Wildcats forced 13 turnovers in the first half. They led by 16 at the break. Fourth quarter, that's Evelyn Akator blocking the shot, then tapping it to Epps, who goes coast to coast for the layup. Wildcats win big in this one, 59-36 over Radford. All right, and Tennessee hosting number 10 Stanford. Late third quarter, Lady Vols up 4. Diamond DeShields swats the shot, pushes the ball up the court before finding Alexa Middleton in the corner. Middleton comes up with the 3. Tennessee goes on an 8-0 run to end the third quarter. They led by 7 after 3. Fourth quarter, Tennessee looking to finish the game strong. DeShields drives it, drops it off to Mercedes Russell for the easy bucket. And DeShields 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. All right, well, plenty more coming your way, but first we've got to get you a little more hand clap hoopla. We saw Roy and Deb having some fun with it in this game. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on everything that's going on with the hoopla.
Oh, perfect. We're good. All set. Holly Rowe, we're all set. Get everybody together. Time to move.
Turn it up. Somebody save your soul, 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want the good life every good night, you're a hot one to hold. 'Cause you don't even know. I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Somebody save your soul, 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing
Janiah McKay, well, she's having a hand clap hoopla so far in this game. 8 points in the first. Auburn trailing by 3 to Virginia Tech. Back with you on the SEC halftime report. Brandy Montgomery for Auburn gets a big one to fall. 11 points for her as they trail 24th ranked Virginia Tech in this first half, only by 3. And the Auburn men earlier today against Mercer, down 1 with 1.4 seconds remaining. TJ Dunnins with the corner 3. He gets it. Dane Bradshaw's here. What'd you think, Dane?
Can't see this play enough. Wasn't that great of execution, but just a bigger man, a bigger guard. I love what Coach Pearl said. Sometimes it's not your best shooter you want the ball in the hands and at the end of the game, but your toughest player. TJ Dunnins is that guy.
Yeah, you know Bruce Pearl very well. Obviously, he's had a great reaction from this big shot. How do you think he'll be able to spin this one forward, just because the game was certainly closer than they would have liked it to be at that point?
At the end of the year, I don't think you'll look back and see this huge win over Mercer, but it's more than you think, because when you think about the momentum they were starting to build at this point, Austin Wiley becomes eligible for them. That gives them a big man inside. They're coming off a terrific game with 21 three-pointers against Coastal Carolina, and they'll eventually get back Horace Spencer, Bryce Brown, those guys that can bring something to the table as well. So this was about keeping positive momentum more than anything.
You've got to think that Wiley, certainly with some better conditioning, will be more involved. But we're going to get you back out to Auburn and get you back with Roy Philpott and Deb Antonelli. Here's Katie Firking, 7 points, 3 boards in the first half for her. Auburn, Virginia Tech, second half on the way.
Well, back on the Plains, 40-37, undefeated at number 24, Virginia Tech, a 3-point advantage over the homestanding Auburn Tigers. Great to have you with us. The start of our third quarter. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott courtside. A game of runs, I thought, in the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, when Auburn's defense can generate, that allows them to get out on transition, allows them to knock down triples, get out on that run that you're talking about, and then Virginia Tech can counter. I mean, these are 2 well-coached, well-prepared teams. We expected a possession-for-possession game, and we got one.
That's what we've got so far as we take a look at our first half highlights. Pick your poison. Both teams kind of went back and forth.
It's a cumulative wear-down effect for Auburn. It's the way they play D. Everyone's in, everyone is engaged, and they communicate well on that end. It allows them to get extra possessions, and Katie Frerking knocks down a triple in transition off their D. For Virginia Tech, they've got 6 triples in the first half, 1 off their season average. Sidney Cook, the unlikely 3-point shooter, knocks down a couple early. This is their career best 3-point shooter, Vanessa Panousis, who knocks down 3 triples in the first half.
59% from the field for Virginia Tech. You see the 6 of 13 from bonus land. Very impressive. The turnovers also a little bit of an issue for 2 teams that are trying to turn over the opposition. We'll see if that continues as the Hokies average only 11 per contest, 12 already in the first 2 quarters.
That just shows you how good Auburn's defense is and how aggressive they are on that end of the floor.
Virginia Tech undefeated, ranked 24th. Hicks out of control and an offensive foul to start our third quarter. It'll be her second.
I'm sure that Kenny Brooks said something to Hicks about get to the paint, drive, be aggressive, attack. He told me yesterday her first 3 turnovers were on him. That if she turned it over the first 3 times, he did not want her to lose her aggressiveness in this game because Auburn is so good on the defensive end.
That's an interesting tactic to try to get your guard to maybe attack more.
Right, so that what you do offensively is you stay aggressive. You don't worry or second guess. You keep doing the things that you're doing. The first 3 turnovers are on him.
How about Janiah McKay looking for 3 the hard way after a strong start in the first half with 8 points and a couple of rebounds. Have another look.
It's a great take. You can't bump her off her line. She's strong to the hoop, keeps her eyes up on the rim. And so Virginia Tech starts out the second half with 2 mistakes.
McKay, 10 points. Hokies with a 1-point advantage and possession.
The difference between teams that are good and those that can be elite, or they do not make back-to-back-to-back mistakes. And they don't occasionally make back-to-back. Or occasionally you can make back-to-back, but you can't survive it over time.
Gherdan really lost control. 8 to shoot. Panousis outside. Deep 3 on the way. In and out. And traveling. Give it right back to the Hokies. 5 turnovers now for Auburn.
Coach Flo has averaged 19 wins in 3 of the last 4 seasons.
Panousis again, this time from the baseline, and she connects for a long 2. Her shot very strong and ultra confident.
She has gone from being the point guard and the leading scorer on this team to moving to off the ball and being a special shooter from outside the arc. You know, like you have those utility players that do a little bit of everything.
The Swiss Army knife.
Exactly.
She can do it all. Montgomery. In and out. Jessica Jones on the offensive glass. Stripped from behind, out of bounds. It'll stay with Auburn. And we haven't seen much of Jasmine Jones, Jessica's sister. She went out with 2 early fouls. In there now, that's 15 in white. And right on cue, will trigger the inbounds. Here's Furking, baseline. That's her shot, that's her move, and that's another basket.
Beautiful. Reject the screen, drive baseline, no help, and score before the rotation comes.
She's got 9 to go along with 3 rebounds and a couple of dimes. Here's a traveling call.
Katie Frerking has added something to her game every summer, and this is what she does here. Reject, drive, pull up.
And silky smooth, 14 turnovers in the meantime for Virginia Tech. Hokies lead it by a point, trying to remain undefeated and nationally ranked.
They already have 1 win over a ranked team in Indiana, and Auburn was down 17 points to start the 4th quarter, and then Brandy Montgomery got hot.
Shake and bake, the runner throws it up and down it goes. Somehow falling away from the basket, almost a hook shot. She's got 13.
Coach Flo's okay with her taking some tough shots like that because she's the first player in practice every day, and she's the last one to leave. Got up extra shots last night after practice when no one else was in here. Except for me, I saw her. I was in here.
You know, that shot almost reminds you of LaRon Smith's free throw shooting, the way he just kind of shot puts it out there for the men's basketball program here at Auburn. And traveling. Lee Kantner with the call. Veteran official.
You see, in Brandy's mind, she traveled, but she still hit the shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a turnover, so she saw it go through the hoop. She continues to be aggressive offensively.
Inside, and an offensive foul.
This is not a shot-blocking Auburn team. This is a team that rotates.
Be sure to tune in December 28th for the next SEC story. Before they were Cowboys, it's the story of Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, the 1964 Razorbacks, winning a national championship before they were Cowboys. Presented by Chick-fil-A. That's December 28th at 9 p.m. on the SEC Network. From 17, and McKay has the hot hand.
Well, she continues to impress. Oh, that's some quickness right there. Little in-out move.
And Auburn, nice job to try to defend Hicks attacking. Coach Flo in her 5th season, 79-63 overall. It's the 7th all-time meeting between these two teams. Auburn a commanding 5-1 lead from 17. And Samantha Hill with a basket.
Just a step inside that 3-point line. She's got a nice looking pull-up jump shot. 5'10" senior has really elevated her game in her senior campaign.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the first half. She's worked on that mid-range jumper.
Well, as quick as Jeanette Hicks is, Kenny Brooks told me, end-to-end in a straight line, Samantha Hill is faster, which you find hard to believe because Hicks has got such explosiveness.
Jasmine Jones fouled. She'll shoot free throws.
Samantha Hill is a terrific athlete. Look at that beautiful pull-up jump shot, textbook-like.
3rd foul against Cook. 1-point advantage for Auburn.
Just a reminder, please, no flash.
Debbie, you follow this sport in this game for so long, and you understand how important these non-conference games are. Really the last couple of opportunities to kind of prove your worth, figure out your identity before league play begins.
Yeah, this is a good RPI game for both teams. You know, both programs have been in the bottom half of their respective leagues, and now they're looking for a little respect to move up. They're both much better than they've been in the past.
Gherdan hit the deck, and she was fouled. Now, that's a great point, because if you talk to these two programs, they feel like they're much better than what they have been recently, even with Kenny Brooks taking over in his first season. Jasmine Jones just picked up her third, and she'll quickly check out.
Well, in an Auburn situation, you know, they went to the NCAA tournament last year and got a win. And so for Terry, in her mind, she's saying, can we do it consistently? Can we get back and win? We're not talking about going to the tournament. We're talking about winning in the tournament, and that's how their mentality has changed.
Panousis for three, a rare miss. And out of bounds. It'll stay right here. As close as this game has been, just one tie and 5 lead changes.
Look how Panousis uses the bounce to create space to be able to make that pass.
Hicks does it as well. The putback by Cook.
Oh, just a great job finding a lane to the rim by Sidney Cook.
And Debbie, she's got 14, right at her season average. Transfer from Seton Hall. Approaching the halfway point of the third quarter. Little crossover between the legs for McKay, who draws the contact.
10-1.4. Can't put your hands on the ball handler.
Did you just
That's
quote the rule book?
10-1.4. That's it.
Third personal on Hicks. 3.0.0. She needs to be careful. And McKay, 13 points now. This would be a nice signature win if Auburn can find a way to hold on against an undefeated nationally ranked team.
I mean, really big, because then you have 2 wins over ranked teams going into the conference play. And Indiana is a great win. They're all 5 starters back on that team. That team's going to contend for the Big Ten championship.
They trailed by 17 in the fourth quarter, came back and won it, courtesy of a 32-point outburst in those 10 minutes. Kendall Brooks will check in as Brandy Montgomery picks up the foul.
Kendall is the daughter of Kenny, the head coach at Virginia Tech. Pretty good shooter.
That made a 3 in the first half. Just a freshman, nearly 7 points per game.
I was getting ready to give her the bang. That looked good.
It was coming right on cue. Here's another steal by Hicks. Second in the country in that department coming into this one. But off the mark. 3 on 3. Pushing tempo and out of bounds. A wild sequence.
It's a poor choice. Montgomery in the corner, wide open, spotted up in transition.
3-point advantage for the Auburn Tigers at home. Coming up next, we go on a fast break with Coach Flo. Stay tuned.
A little fast break style with Coach Flo. You got to go with the flow, Coach Flo, right?
Go with
Got
the
to
flow.
run the lanes.
Roll with the flow.
Nice. I like it. Okay, what item can you not do without?
Food.
Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
2 words to describe the first practice this season.
Beautiful, amazing.
If you weren't coaching, what would you be doing?
Modeling.
You scored. Transition 3 on the other end. Good job.
Thank you.
D. Nelly with Coach Flo. Well done on the fast break. As you see, their non-conference record by seed's been impressive. If they could hold on here, it would certainly be a resume builder come March.
Well, exactly, because the RPI of this schedule will be much better than those in the past, which will help not just enter into the tournament, but help their seeding. See, that's the mindset that you have to have if you're Coach Flo. This is your 5th year. You got the players that mimic your personality and your style, long and athletic and aggressive and committed on the defensive end, and playing off your defense. That's where they get their mojo. Whereas to me, Virginia Tech is the opposite. They get theirs off their offense.
All right, you ready for the tables to be turned here? Let's play fast break with D. Nelly for a moment.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Bring
Team
it.
most likely to upset UConn this year.
Ohio State tomorrow night.
Most underrated player in the country right now that nobody's talking about.
Lindsey Allen at Notre Dame.
Favorite coach to interview on camera.
Man, I'm not speeding. I'm trailing on this. My favorite coach to interview. Wow, all of them.
All of them. That's the PC answer. You don't want to offend anybody. McGarity for three. And she connects. And we're tied at 49 just like that.
I actually think there are 3 teams left on Connecticut's schedule that have a chance to beat them.
Ohio State.
Ohio State, Maryland right after Christmas, and then South Carolina in February.
Yeah.
Now, if one of those 3 don't get them, they will be undefeated going into the NCAA tournament.
And what, on a 102-game winning streak or something close to it?
Some ridiculous number like that. I mean, just incredible. When you look through Connecticut's game notes, there is one number is more ridiculous than the next. It's hard to pick which is the most impressive. Like, what nugget do you use? They're all impressive.
No doubt. Here's a look at our storylines across the game. UConn riding an 84-game winning streak. I mentioned Ohio State. And then number 4, Maryland. Well, you just never know what Coach Freeze is going to pull out of the woodwork.
Well, they played them the best and closest last year. And for Ohio State, Lene Harper, the transfer from Kentucky, is back. Played in the game the other night, 15 points. She gives them another scorer on the perimeter and a good on-ball defender, which can take Kelsey Mitchell out of that role, because Kelsey Mitchell is one of the best scorers in all of college basketball, and is charting a path to pass Jackie Stiles, the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, should she stay healthy, which we hope she does.
After the miss by Montgomery, Virginia Tech back to work, and a foul called against Auburn. And don't forget, after the game, SEC Now headed your way later on tonight. Join our network analysts as they dive into all the conference news of the day, streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN as soon as we're done here in Auburn. Foul went against Zhang. That'll be her second. And the Hokies, that crisp ball movement. Very impressive tonight. Cook for 3 once again. She connects. Cook with 17.
I mean, that looks good. She should be taking more threes.
Well, she was just 1 for 17 coming into this game. And tell you what, you couldn't tell by what we've seen so far.
A lot of confidence.
6-0 run for the Hokies. Inside, Zhang off the mark.
A great backdoor cut, though.
Under 3 to play in the third. Pump fake by McGarity. Couple of steps off the glass, no good. 2 on 3. Burking finds a crease. And Hicks, out of control, but gets the whistle. Will shoot 2. Well, the action back and forth here in the last 60 seconds. Tiffany Lewis picks up the personal, her second.
I love a point guard that runs with their shoulders over their pads, if you will. Shoulders forward like a running back. Getting ready to hit the offensive line, Roy. You know, you got to have your shoulders forward over your pads.
You're speaking my language. Picks off with the first one. One more coming up, 68% at the line. No, I get it. I get it. It makes sense.
All downhill.
Get that momentum going in your favor. And Kenny Brooks is seeing the same thing. He's trying to implore his point guard to get after it. Don't settle. She had 47 steals in 10 games coming into this contest. It's 5 steals per game she's forcing.
And most of them are off the ball. That's not just picking somebody's pocket. It's anticipation. It's shooting the gap.
That goes back to her vision we talked about as well on both ends of the floor. She is dynamic along those lines.
Well, she played her high school and summer travel ball for Terry Flournoy's brother, Boo Williams. She's from the Norfolk, Hampton Roads area.
McKay the jumper, and Brooks lost her shoe momentarily. They'll pause the action to allow her to put that one back on. Kendall Brooks, just a freshman.
Hard to make that pass all the way deep into the corner when you've got aggressive overplaying defense.
Inside with the bounce.
And that's the one thing that Vanessa Panusa has continued to do throughout her career. She'll make that extra dribble, keep her dribble alive against quicker, more athletic teams.
Nakadil the basket, her second in her first game back after leaving the team for personal reasons. Ten on the shot clock. 4-point game. Hokies out in front, undefeated and ranked number 24 in the country. Montgomery's got to force one up. And a wild shot out of bounds.
Good D. High hands there on the catch. Not allowing penetration or a penetrating pass to the paint. Force a jump shot out of Auburn.
Tiffany Lewis back in for Montgomery. And token full court pressure now for the Tigers. Just tuning in, it's been a wild day here inside of Auburn Arena. Men's program defeated Mercer. Another deep three, this time from Kendall Brooks on the wing. An 11-2 run for Virginia Tech.
Don't you know you love it when the coach's kid hits a big three?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Under a minute to play, 15 on the shot clock. McKay driving, attacking, and foul. Now Kendall Brooks been strong from distance this season, especially tonight.
Tech has no trouble handling the full court pressure, and while the matchup zone is trying to get organized, they make a mistake and leave Kendall Brooks wide open in the corner right in front of Daddy's bench.
When you look at Kenny Brooks, he just looks optimistic. I like his aura, kind of what he brings to the table, and obviously a 10-0 start.
He's terrific. He's done a good job. He has waited his turn to take the step up to the BCS level. He's had other opportunities. He's been very much pursued by other athletic directors, and Virginia Tech chose him as much as he chose Virginia Tech.
And it's a neat story. Here's Hicks breaking the pressure. Brooks thought about it. Now the step back. Fortunate not to turn it over. .15-second differential between the game and shot clock. McGarity, meanwhile, number 11 for Virginia Tech, has a double-double, her fourth of the season.
Phil, you know our colleague Corey Alexander.
I do.
Yeah, that's his cousin, Kenny Brooks. I tell Kenny all the time he's much better looking and smarter and more handsome than Corey.
We're walking a slippery slope.
Corey's a good dude, great guy, good friend.
4 to shoot. Panousis has to hurry. The step back. Gherdan nearly her 12th rebound. It'll stay with Virginia Tech. Shot clock is off, and the Hokies can play for the final shot. Suddenly a 6-point advantage as well. Brooks open. Count it! On fire, Kendall Brooks. 5 seconds remaining. McKay lost it inside to Jones, and she traveled.
Brooks got the deflection on that one. Back-to-back triples in the same corner. Beautiful.
She's got 9 points, averaging just about 7 as time expires here at the end of the third quarter. An 11-2 run propels the Hokies to a 9-point advantage. Fourth quarter here inside of Auburn Arena. Coming up, the home team needs to rally. Well, Sidney Cook, what a performance so far this evening. A couple of threes early in the first half to pace the Virginia Tech offense. 17 points tonight and all 4 rebounds. And she's done a little bit of everything, Debbie.
Well, she's been terrific. You know, she had 5 double-doubles coming into this game. And was the leading scorer and rebounder from last year returning. So she's added to her role. And Auburn, when they play D and they get out and run, their team speed is really tough to deal with.
Nia McKay has had a career performance as well. 17 points for number 33. That ties a career high. And she's been in control at times when Auburn has needed a basket or needed a crisp pass to kind of stay in it. And they need more of that right now, starting the fourth quarter trailing by 9.
I thought last year the SEC lacked good guard play. there were only a handful of guards, no one that was an All-American, that led their teams. And you're seeing the emergence of Janiah McKay, who's becoming that lead guard who can do a lot of multiple things to help Terry's team win. Coach Flo's team is very good on the defensive end. They need to have some consistent offense, and she can help them get that.
Hicks with a bounce. She has 7 to go, along with 12 assists and 5 rebounds.
Well, we start talking triple-double here?
Possibly. This will tie the largest advantage for Virginia Tech at 11. Very quietly, it feels like the Hokies have gained control, seized control, really, of this contest, Debbie.
Well, see, now you put pressure on Auburn to have to score, and this is a position they don't want to be in. They want to be able to get points off their defense.
Long 2 for Montgomery. She has 15.
But I'll tell you, the last couple trips I've been here, you see a team that continues to flourish under Coach Flo's system on the defensive end.
Hicks comes up short. Nearly picked the pocket of McKay. Elbow jumper, well off the mark. And a skip pass to Hill. Cook under control.
Wow. Good body control is right to be able to avoid the charge. She's had three charging fouls or 2 charging fouls tonight.
19 points for Cook.
I know she had 2 in the first half.
She did. Back to an 11-point game. Furking has been quiet so far in the second half. Maybe that'll get her going. Now in double figures with 11 is Furking. 5 of 13 from the field.
Coming off that career high 30 in the last game.
McGarity, a spinning hook shot, gets it to go.
You have to play McGarity one-on-one in a post because you can't leave Panousis on the strong side to help. She's too good of a three-point shooter.
Auburn 31-2 in non-conference home games the last 5 seasons under Coach Flo. McKay.
Gorgeous.
And a timeout called by Auburn. Lead is 9.
Auburn, 30-second timeout.
Now a strong performance so far for Sidney Cook. Cook with 19 points and 5 rebounds. And then McGarity back to work. 12 and 10, another double-double. Back in Auburn, the lead is 9 for number 24, Virginia Tech. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, great to have you with us. This week on ESPNW, check it out at ESPNW.com. Kelsey Plum, the Pac-12 all-time leading scorer, had her in the NCAA tournament last year. A dynamic force,
Yes.
a great personality, in love with her game. She can beat you in so many different ways.
Nearly 30 points a game, could lead the nation in scoring. Not only did she become the all-time leading scorer in the Pac-12 this week, and Coach Auriemma's daughter, Alyssa, wrote a terrific story about her dad and the impact that he's had. And then, of course, Gabby Williams, what a great start to the season she has had for the Connecticut Huskies. Undersized front line, 6'1", 5'11". Natalie Butler gives them a little bit of size. Love their guard play.
Can I put you on the spot again?
Sure.
I'm just thinking out loud about this. We've talked a lot about UConn and the potential hurdles the Huskies will have to climb. Yes or no in the regular season, does UConn lose a game this year?
I think they're going to lose 1. And like I said before, there's only 3 left on their schedule. And one of them's tomorrow night, Ohio State, Maryland after Christmas, South Carolina.
And they'll fall to one of those teams.
Here's the thing about South Carolina. Coach Auriemma's game planning took away the high-low game for Baylor. Baylor didn't have any other options after that. You have to develop other ways to score. He is going to take away your primary option. Then what do? Can you game plan and prepare and be disciplined and execute for 40 minutes? And you cannot make back-to-back mistakes.
I know that Dawn Staley believes that they can beat UConn. Does that team, given what's happened recently between those two squads? And that's something I think mentally they're going to have to overcome.
I think what you look at and spin it forward is every year they've played them, the margin's gotten a little bit less.
Yeah, so that's a teachable point, perhaps.
Yes, so that's how you spin it. Okay, we're this close. It's this possession. It's this play. It's can we do this?
Jasmine Jones, the basket. The lead is 7.
Look, he has completely solidified himself, Gino Auriemma, as the greatest of all time. Right now, there is no one that is able to compete with him.
I mean, they're on the verge of going on a 100-game winning streak.
Yes, it's incredible.
In any sport, at any level, it's incredible.
Now,
yes.
He graduates 3 players, best players by position last season in college basketball, including one of the all-time greatest to ever play, Breanna Stewart.
Right.
He's got 5 All-Americans on that team. It's not like there is no talent, okay? They always are going to have talent. Here's what Coach Auriemma says, and I agree with him. I might get 3 All-Americans a year, but there's 20, and where do the other 17 go?
Okay.
All right, he makes a valid point. Okay, so you better game plan to beat him. He's going to take away your first option. You got to be able to score with him. And it's easier said than done, because obviously no one can do it.
Right.
Right? Who's going to do it?
Well, and also it's a mental deal, I think. When you see them walk into the gym, you know, hey, we've got to be at our best. And a lot of times you're just not able to overcome it. And then their talent takes over and the coaching takes over. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I think their coaching takes over.
Yeah. 7-point lead.
Shame on the rest of us. Come on.
7-point lead for Virginia Tech. The Hokies trying to remain undefeated and make this an 11-game winning streak in the process.
And all those people out there that think that there are people like me, they call me a Connecticut hater, that's false. There is complete excellence with what they do. Who wouldn't want to watch that? Okay? I love a disciplined basketball team. I love a team that can score. I love a team that shares the basketball. All right? They play with discipline and a plan. They share the ball. Who wouldn't want to watch that?
Right.
Okay? Why can't anyone else do it? For 40 minutes.
I like this soapbox moment. This is kind of what I anticipated.
I think he wants to be challenged.
He does.
Come on.
In every press conference, you hear him basically echo those sentiments in his own way.
He was near giddy after the Notre Dame win, because I'm sure there's some aspects of his team that he's concerned about going in that environment, playing against that team who had just been #1 preseason, who hadn't lost,
Yeah.
and they jumped him.
No question. They were challenged about 3.5 quarters. Proved victorious again on the baseline. Montgomery, the lead suddenly is 5. We've got a good ball game brewing here in Auburn. ACC versus SEC. And we'll continue that conversation another time.
I'm sure that conversation will continue until someone can knock him off.
And Panousis knocks down another triple. That'll extend the lead back to 8 halfway through the 4th quarter.
Virginia Tech. This is a full timeout.
Brandy Montgomery, the senior. The response on the baseline, she has 17. And then Virginia Tech back to work. Vanessa Panousis with the triple. Well, out of the final media timeout, 5:13 remaining. Virginia Tech holding on to an 8-point advantage. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, great to have you here inside of Auburn Arena. It has been a fantastic afternoon of college basketball, the men's and the women's side. Really just as we planned it, just as we drew it up earlier this morning, right?
Exactly. How much fun has this been? This has been
a lot of
great
fun.
today.
It really has. Vicky Orr a minute ago holding up the end as they led the cheer. The mother of the talented freshman, Austin Wiley, former 5-star prospect, making his debut earlier today. And of course, 1988 SEC Player of the Year. The number 50 hanging directly towards our right, high above us, Debbie.
I can't imagine the pride that Vicky must feel with her banner and jersey hanging in the rafters, number 50, and her son wearing the number here, playing as a 17-year-old freshman.
Doesn't get much better than
Man,
that.
it has got to be one of the all-time great moments for parents.
Auburn basketball trailing by 8. Tigers need a couple of stops and some baskets.
We heard Coach Pearl talking about how convincing them he didn't need to go to one of the blue bloods. He could come here and develop and get his game ready for the next level at the NBA.
7 to shoot. Auburn's made its last 4 field goal attempts. Make it 5. And a big basket for Furking. Hicks pressing, attacking. and stepped out of bounds. 17 turnovers for the Hokies.
Good job coming off the screen, ready to score. Really up to her role. You know, Katie Furking has never been the #1 option in her 4 years here. She's been a role player on the offensive end. But she has really developed into a solid SEC basketball player.
6-point game. Here's McKay, the up and under. Can't get the roll. Gherdan tried to save it. And now our veteran officiating crew will have a quick conversation. And somehow it'll be Virginia Tech basketball. Coach Flo can't believe it.
I tell you what, both these coaches have been pretty patient with the officiating, but there hasn't been that many issues.
I don't know if the same thing could be said in our first game. We had Coach Pearl wired up, SEC wired it. No, we didn't play a whole lot of it. There's Cook off the mark. But I tell you what, when he did talk, when he spoke with us moments ago, so motivational. Just the master when it comes to that department. Jasmine Jones just picked up her 4th personal. And her and Hill hit the deck simultaneously. Under 4 to play. Three-pointer off. McKay the rebound.
What a good look. On the closeout, high hands, Vanessa Panusa sprints back to make sure she gets in a stance to guard Montgomery.
Montgomery rushed that one.
Well, took a real gamble going underneath all that screening action, knowing that Montgomery likes to shoot the 3.
Panusa's an open look from the wing.
Yeah, that's really back-to-back mistakes by the Auburn matchup zone. And you wonder if fatigue's starting to take a role right here. Neither time did they get out to close out on Panusa's to run her off the 3-point line.
She's got 18 points. Virginia Tech nearly 50% from bonus land tonight. Back to a 9-point advantage. And Furking turns it over.
Yeah,
Wanted the foul.
I'd say fatigue is playing a role right now. Just a little, remember I talked about game slippage, and when you have game pressure on you and you have to be able to make plays. That's why coaches are so hard on you in practice, so that you're ready when the opportunity comes, so that you can build in for that slippage.
Three-quarter court pressure. Virginia Tech handles it easily. Hicks, quick trigger there, trying to bleed some clock. They don't do it. Auburn basketball on the other end. Reagan McGarity picks up the personal, and that'll be her 4th. So a chance here for Auburn. Need a basket, a couple of stops. Tigers coming in at 8-2. Virginia Tech 10-0, undefeated and ranked number 24.
Not even a threat to look to score from there.
High-low action. Jones down low. And the dime drop by her sister Jessica. Nicely done. She has 6 and a chance for 3 the hard way. That's a big basket.
Not even a threat. So Cook has her hands down and gives Jones vision to the high-low. Sister to sister connection.
And McGarity just fouled out with her 5th personal. So that's a big loss for Virginia Tech. She'll end the game with 12 points. And don't forget, as soon as we're done here, SEC Now will follow suit. We look forward to a recap of a very busy day of hoops. And can I get some more coverage of that Kentucky-North Carolina game from yesterday?
Right.
That would be a lot of fun.
I'm going to download that game on Synergy when we get back to the hotel. I'm going to carry that around with me.
47 poured in by Malik Monk. Here's a steal. And Furking came out of there with it. Lead is 6, approaching 2 to play in Auburn. Trying to make a run at this. No free throws yet.
One more foul will put Auburn in the bonus.
18 turnovers for Virginia Tech, a season high.
The pace and the cadence has really dropped off here.
Tiffany Lewis back in, 14 and white for Auburn. 11 to shoot. McKay slicing, driving. Can't get the roll. And a late whistle means free throws coming up for Auburn.
Watch McKay drive, change pace, change direction. Comes off the screens, goes back on the rescreen, gets it on the glass. And without Reagan McGarity in there, they're really missing another rebounder on this end of the floor.
Fourth foul on Cook. Jones converts the first of 2. The lead is 5. And McGarity on the bench. Talented bigs for Virginia Tech, just a sophomore. 4-point advantage for the Hokies. You can just feel the pressure mounting with his full court pressure coming from Auburn. Nakadil checks out.
I think Auburn's a team that is, has the ability to play from behind in this situation because they like to rely on their defense. They really trust it late.
Will shake and bake from Hicks. She'll beat the full court pressure by herself. Tigers need to stop the running one-hander off the side of the backboard. Hill the putback and a big basket. Make that Cook with the 2. She has 21.
Interesting, Brandy Montgomery not on the floor right now.
And McKay, the running one-hander. Nearly got that one to go somehow, weaving her way through traffic. She's trying to take this game over, Debbie.
Well, she has the capability on the offensive end, Roy. She is very good off the bounce. We've seen what a terrific floor game she has played. Smart.
Cook now with 21 points. Hokies lead it by 6.
I'm not ready to give McKay the label of what I call the 3 W's of a good point guard, who to get the ball to, when and where. I think that's the next level for her, is making everyone else better. Finding Frere King when she's open so that she can catch and shoot. Dropping it off for the post so they can just catch and lay it up. We haven't seen the post game of Auburn make a post move, so those are the kinds of plays that those post players are going to be able to make. Drop-offs and dunks and dinks, if you will.
75-71. And a timeout called by Auburn.
30-second timeout called by Auburn.
What do you draw up here? Certainly the full court pressure continues, but still too early to begin the fouling process.
Yeah, no, it's too early for fouling. You gotta look at trying to get a steal, and then you rely on your matchup. You better make sure you know where Vanessa Panousis is, and you have to keep Hicks in front. You can't let her drive that lane line down the middle of the floor, down the lane line. And you know they're going to bring pressure. You got to put your press break in. Okay, you got to attack it. You can't just settle. And I don't think if Kenny Brooks wants to take time off the clock here, if you've got a shot, I think you look to take it. And you rely on Hicks and Panousis to have the ball in their hands the majority of the time here.
Well, they just seem to have a calming effect. Panousis now with a season-high 18. Kinder also checks in for the Hokies. That's 14 in orange.
You get another ball handler. You get Nakadil on the bench.
Approaching a minute to play. Hicks.
Got to stay off the sidelines and the corners.
15 on the shot clock. Plenty of time.
There's the lane line drive I was talking about.
Offensive foul, no basket. Well, a big call on the baseline. Auburn will get it back, trailing by just 4, and that'll be the 4th personal on Hicks.
I don't know about that. You got to referee the defense there, and that's the lane line drive that I was talking about. The play started outside the lower defensive box. It does bring the restricted area into play.
Tigers need a basket after a bang-bang play that could have gone either way. Birking thought about it. Double teamed outside McKay. The long deuce on the way and good.
Of course she did.
Game clock and shot clock virtually identical.
I think you had to foul there. That's a good play because you can't let them dribble the clock out.
Tech with 2 timeouts remaining. Auburn with just 1. The lead is 2 for the undefeated Hokies.
Now if you're Kenny Brooks, you get another shooter on the floor in your daughter. Kendall, now you got to inbound the basketball. There are 5 timeouts are not on that board. I get mixed up in here. 2 timeouts for Virginia Tech, 1 for Auburn.
Ball was deflected. Hokies maintained possession.
Yeah, Panousis is saying that she kicked it, so they want to get the ball on the sideline. Otherwise, why would you let the ball go all the way out of bounds? So now you got to bring it the full length of the floor, unless you want to use the timeout to advance the basketball. Inside a minute, you can do that. It's a great rule in the women's game.
So our veteran officiating crew will take another look at that one to determine where the ball will be inbounded from. Been a fun day of basketball here on the Plains.
It has been great. They're looking at whether it was a kick ball or not, and that could determine where the ball is inbounded.
What was your grade for the officials in the first half? A-?
Yes.
They've had a solid game so far.
That's a good grade, A-.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that was the kick right there that they were referring to, so they should get the ball at close to midcourt.
Correct.
That's a big difference. Then you have to go against the full court pressure, and then you don't have to burn a timeout to advance the ball. You're talking 2 and 3 possessions right here if you're Terry Flournoy with your team.
And a chance to talk things over free of charge without burning that last stoppage.
Auburn has fouls to give, so they might need to start fouling right away just so they can get into the bonus, so they can get the ball back if they can't get a steal.
2 team fouls right now on the Tigers. With only 24 seconds left, that's kind of an issue. So if you're Auburn, you go for the early steal. If it doesn't happen, you foul right away.
Yeah, and then you got to foul again. Put pressure on Virginia Tech trying to inbound the basketball.
And a lengthy delay here with the official review. Dee Kantner debating the call, apparently. Well, if you're just joining us, Virginia Tech led by as many as 11 in the first quarter. Auburn came roaring back, held a 4-point advantage midway through the second before the Hokies reclaimed the lead at halftime. Since then, it's been pretty much back and forth until the last 5 or 6 minutes where Virginia Tech assumed control. And a late Auburn run has made this a 1-possession game. So according to our knowledge of the game, we expect it to be Hokies basketball near midcourt after the kickball. And indeed, that's exactly what it'll be.
Yeah, that's a good job by the officials to come together, and you want to make sure you get it right. This is an important play right here.
Auburn's looking for a steal or a quick foul. 3rd team foul now on the Tigers.
Foul number 33 of Auburn, McKay, 3rd personal foul.
McKay picks up the personal. That's her 3rd.
You got to do the same thing right here. You got to look to steal and then foul.
And 2 more fouls leads to the bonus. Nearly a steal by McKay. A dangerous toss.
If she had gone for the ball instead of the player foul, she might have had that one. You can't throw a bounce pass like that. You got to be careful.
Dangerous. 22.1 seconds remaining, and Kenny Brooks will talk things over. Well, I think he sensed what we did after that last sequence, a little shaky on the inbound.
Oh, and now you can advance the ball. That's why the kick the ball mattered, getting that call right.
Hokies with 1 timeout remaining. Auburn with 1 as well. Virginia Tech undefeated at 10-0 and ranked number 24 in the country. All of that on the line this evening.
Auburn, next foul will be the bonus, and Auburn has 1 timeout left. Virginia Tech has 2. The board has Virginia Tech with 2 timeouts left.
Hokies basketball with a 2-point advantage. 7th all-time meeting between these two. Tech has won just 1 time.
Switch on all screens here. That's who you want to shoot free throws if you're Virginia Tech. Panousis.
73% from the line this year. Hokies have only attempted 4 free throws in this game.
Which is amazing to note that Auburn plays such aggressive defense without fouling.
And some big ones coming up here. 18 points so far tonight. Make it 19.
Well, this could mean you got to get 2 scores if she can make this free throw. So what you want to do if you're Virginia Tech, do not foul, keep them in front, run them off the 3-point line. If I'm Auburn, I'm driving it hard to the rim. I'm trying to get a quick 2.
With the bounce, a 2-possession game. And a timeout called by Auburn.
Love this rule in the college women's game. I wish the guys would go to it. Then you can advance the ball inside the last minute.
Right. Well, it just makes it more exciting. It gives you a chance to pull off the spectacular. And by the way, we saw that earlier today here. The buzzer beater for Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers. Well, Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott's been a great afternoon and now evening of college basketball. And still some work to be done. We'll see if Virginia Tech can hold on to this lead.
It's been great. I mean, we've been breaking it down over here for a couple of hours. It's been a lot of fun being here at Auburn. The fans have been great. Hospitality's terrific. The sports information offices have been great and delivered on 2 fantastic games.
Bruce Pearl joined us in the first half to reminisce on the big comeback win against Mercer and to reflect on the performance of Austin Wiley, the talented freshman making his debut earlier today. Out of the timeout, we'll see if Auburn elects for the quick 2 or maybe to try a 3-pointer. You think they'll try to attack the rim?
I think you attack with 20 seconds. You got time for a quick 2 and then get right into your defense. Virginia Tech with 1 timeout remaining on the board. There's 1. You switch on everything if you're Tech right here and do not foul.
Time winding down. Here's McKay. Driving, penetrating, and a foul away from the basket. And hitting the deck was Tiffany Lewis.
Well, they tried to run Brandy Montgomery through the elevator door screens.
Panousis picks up her second. 14.8 seconds remaining, and Lewis 93% at the line this year.
Well, you did not want to foul there. Stop the clock and put Lewis on the free throw line.
1 possession game. Honestly, kind of weird. And the Hokies will use another timeout.
60-second timeout, Virginia Tech.
Well, Virginia Tech leads it by 3.
You use this timeout. You hope in January, February, in conference play, you don't have to burn a timeout here, that your team knows what they should be doing so that you have one against the Auburn pressure to be able to inbound the basketball should they make this free throw.
Right.
Okay, so that's one thing that you're always concerned about is having an extra timeout in your pocket so that you can advance the ball or so that you can make sure you can get it in.
Well, an updated look at SEC scores today. Debbie talked about it earlier. A big win for Dawn Staley, the South Carolina Gamecocks. The top 10 matchup. How about LSU?
That's 5 in a row. That's a big win. In Myrtle Beach, playing in the Myrtle Beach Classic up there, that Sylvia Hatchell always plays a couple of games and invites a couple of people to play, and Nikki Vargas' turn to go up there, and she's done a terrific job with her team to win 5 in a row. They haven't lost since the Connecticut game.
Very impressive. Stanford, of course, also fell to the Lady Vols earlier today. And out of the timeout. One more free throw coming for the Tigers. And she can't do it. 3-point game. Hokies turn it over. The up and under off the glass. Are you kidding me? What a turn of events.
You call that timeout because you want to make sure that your team knows exactly what to do instead of saving it to advance the ball. Watch this right here. Just a turnover right to McKay. What a finish with contact. 25 points for the point guard.
It's been that kind of night for number 33.
No timeouts for either team.
A chance to tie it up. On the way. And she does. 77 all. Here comes Virginia Tech. 6 seconds remaining.
Give it back to Hicks.
Hicks attacking. The jumper. Off the mark and overtime coming. And how about these Auburn Tigers? A career high 26 from Janiah McKay. And extra basketball headed your way here on the SEC Network. Well, 40 minutes, not enough to decide the final outcome. Overtime is coming up next here on the Plains. 77 brought to you by Continental. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, back inside of Auburn Arena. What a game this has been, and a wild finish there at the end of regulation.
I am perfectly fine with an extra 5.
Well, the game earlier today, Auburn men defeated Mercer 76-74 on a buzzer beater, a three-pointer. And now we're tied at 77. 2 games right now decided by a grand total of 2 points.
Well, the momentum is all with Auburn, and with Reagan McGarity and 5 fouls, she's out. So Terrace Knockadill is going to have to play the majority of the minutes right here inside until Kenny Brooks goes small.
Her first game this season. See if that becomes a factor at some point. Traveling, turnover. .21 turnovers for Virginia Tech.
As the game is worn on, the matchup zone is sunk into the paint. You don't see Jones guarding Hicks at the top of the offense. They're just sagging, trying to keep her from penetrating, and she's still finding a lane line.
Auburn back to work. Here's McKay. She's held the hot hand for the last 2 quarters. Off the bounce, penetrating. Stop and pop. Yes. 28.
Hello, Janiah McKay. Welcome to the SEC party.
And if that's a blocking foul on McKay.
Boy, I love her game. She has really shown me some improvement from last year to this year.
But she just fouled out.
Man, she's got to be smart enough to know she cannot do that right there. You cannot take a gamble on that play and put yourself at a deficit for your teammates.
Well, remember, she collected those 2 fouls quickly as Auburn tried to get Virginia Tech into the bonus at the end of regulation. Played a clean game before that, now heads to the bench. The career high 28 in her back pocket. Hicks, the first of 2 is good.
As good as Auburn has been defensively, and they have relied on that in building their program, they've got a little offense this year, and I kind of like it. Everybody back, I'm still voting on them in the AP poll. I think they're good.
Well, you're one of 7 voters that's done
Yeah.
that. Tie ball game.
Thank you, the other 6 people who believe with me.
Four minutes to play in overtime. After the full court pressure, Auburn will set up the offense. Furking. Long 2 is off the mark. The rebound by Jones, and a fresh 30.
And now Zhang's got to run the point. And this is where Virginia Tech has a chance to take advantage, especially Hicks.
Furking with the left hand, attacking off the glass. Auburn back out in front.
I mean, just a player. A competitive player. Panousis is open on the skip.
They couldn't spot her. Hicks into the paint. Panousis outside now. Deep 3. Hill on the offensive glass. Bounces it off of Zhang. It'll stay with the Hokies. How about Furking?
How many times have we seen Katie Furking do this? Take it on the top and just drive it. You only need 1 dribble from there. It's beautiful.
Indeed it is.
She doesn't waste a bounce. She doesn't waste an effort. She changes her pace on her cuts. She does all the December details, Roy.
Oh, I like it. Bring it back full circle. Beautifully done, Debbie. Tigers by 2, trying to beat Virginia Tech, who's 10-0 and ranked 24th. Hicks. Well, too easy that time.
Too easy without McKay in front of her.
Tied at 81. McKay is fouled out for Auburn. Gherdan is out for Virginia Tech.
And now Brooks has the defensive assignment on Furking. I'd go right back to her at the high post. Here she is right here. Oh, you got to get her the ball right here. You got to give her the ball.
Furking,
yes.
Deep 3. Halfway through overtime here in Auburn. Cook. Hill, the step back, had it blocked, and Furking, with late contact, whistled for the foul.
It's the step back separation and foul on top, according to the official.
Don't know about that one. Hill, a 70% free throw shooter this season. And Hill now with 5. Well, this game has seen a little bit of everything. Runs by both sides.
Really good point guard play
No
on both
question.
sides.
Yeah. 6 and 3 for Hill.
Good three-point shooting.
Virginia Tech 44% from bonus land, 12 of 27. Hokies by 2, and here's a steal by Hicks. She gives it right back. Second in the country in steals coming into this game. 47 in 10 contests.
Roy, I mean, a blur. Shoot the gap.
That's right. Lewis will check in. Jasmine Jones is out. So Jones stays in. It'll be Jessica Jones in the bench. Here in overtime. Auburn trying to hold serve at home against nationally ranked Virginia Tech.
See, they got Hill on Furking now. Good switch up by Kenny Brooks.
Deep 3, Montgomery. Count it!
Oh, Montgomery ready to catch and shoot.
20 points for Brandy Montgomery, the senior.
Even on that switch.
Crowd back in it. Here's Hicks. In traffic off the glass and 1.
What a tough competitor. Watch the defensive effort right here. The screen, the switch, and Sam Hill doesn't step up. Brandy Montgomery is not coming off that screen to turn the corner, but Hicks is going to the lane. And she goes down that lane line again and makes an incredible play.
Hicks with 14 points, 13 assists, 7 rebounds. And Virginia Tech, a 2-point advantage once again. Well, back and forth we go. 10 lead changes, 5 ties already in this one. .90 remaining in overtime. And look at Hicks with the steal. Coast to coast off the glass.
Big time play.
Wow. 9 points in overtime for Hicks.
Look at Hicks is on Fair King now.
What a player. 2-possession game. Jones with a pump fake.
Not a threat to score. Not a threat to score right here with the ball in her hands. Here's a threat.
8 to shoot. Zhang. Top of the key, inside. And a turnover.
Good defense, Virginia Tech. Did not allow Katie Frere-King to catch and didn't let Montgomery catch where she could score. Just pokes it out. A poke by the hook.
That's incredible. It worked.
Hokey pokey.
Yes. Yes, indeed. A 4-point advantage, and Virginia Tech suddenly back in control. Although we could have said the same thing at the end of regulation as well.
Right. Let's see if Virginia Tech can close it out in overtime. They did not close it in regulation. Credit to Auburn.
SEC now. Be brought to you as soon as we're done with this basketball game, but a lot of time remaining. Hokies will bleed some clock, and now Cook off the mark. Back to Auburn.
Why, Cook, did you make that play?
It really makes no sense.
No, you don't need to. No one's guarding you, and then you drive it into traffic and take a tough 2.
Auburn on offense, needs a basket, needs one quickly. Lewis, the pump fake for 3, air ball. And Cook on the glass will corral it with 25 and change remaining.
Really strong box out on the weak side by Cook.
21 and 7 for Sidney Cook, and Jasmine Jones just fouled out. Well, the Stars have come out tonight in this one. Career high for McKay with 28, 21 for Cook, 20 for Montgomery. And these two teams have needed every point out of all their stars. Five-point game. Auburn tied it at the end of regulation on a miraculous finish, a missed free throw, and one opportunity for McKay, and Cook now with 23. Shot clock is off. Tyra Johnson checks in, launches from distance, and connects. One possession game.
You got a foul.
Hicks.
You got to know time and score. And you know, I watched Terry Flournoy work on situations yesterday. She's got a jar with special situations in it, and they pick them out and they work through them. So I know her team is usually cognizant of time and score situations. I mean, you work on situations, you have to. Both these coaches are going to go back tomorrow and have great film to break down with their teams about time and score and decision-making late. How to close out a game.
Yeah, a lot of teachable moments from what's happened here just in the last 10 minutes of game time. A couple of big free throws by Hicks. And a timeout called by the Hokies. 13.9 seconds remaining in overtime as we step aside. Virginia Tech in control. Now less than 14 seconds remain in overtime, and Auburn attempting the comeback. 5 points short. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott. Incredible performance for Hicks. 18, 13, and 7. Kind of stuff in the stat sheet as we've talked about several times.
You know, in the ACC, this is a point guard league.
Yeah.
You can go right down the roster of every team in the ACC, and they've got a point guard, and you have to have one. The league is really tough in the guards position, starting with Notre Dame. You got Lindsey Allen, who I think is very underrated, who people don't talk about enough. Then you've got Jeff Wall's team at Louisville. He's got multiple point guard options. Florida State, Leticia Romero. You just keep going down the list. You continue through the ACC. Alexis Peterson at Syracuse. She's probably somebody I should have mentioned that's underrated.
Right. Oh, you weren't ready for the fast break.
No, I was not ready.
Dinelli, right?
I thought you were going to give me what's my favorite pizza topping and stuff like that.
No. That's not what the viewers want to hear. They want hard opinions on what to expect the rest of this season. A soapbox moment, if you will. You did give us one of those.
Yeah, I could, you know, platform and crusade about offense for 2.5 hours if you want me to. I have no problem doing that. I'm going to get you one of my shirts, Roy. Put on the earth to do what? The answer is score.
Score. I like it.
It's the only answer.
I like it. Lead is 5. Auburn's got the basketball. And the Tigers probably need a quick 3 and a turnover. And they got all of that at the end of regulation moments ago.
What a closer. A complete point guard. Now, she understands the 3 W's. Who to get the ball to, when, and where. And she makes her teammates better. That's the next step for Janiah McKay. And I guarantee you by the end of the season, I will be putting her in that category.
Yeah.
I think that highly of the way Janiah McKay played today.
Well, even if Auburn goes on to lose this game, I don't think that they have disappointed or that anybody will be downplaying their expectations the rest of this season. This is a scrappy club with shooters. They can score. Receiving votes in both polls right now. That's probably not going to change.
And I think if it hasn't gathered the attention of the ACC, Virginia Tech, with their win over Tennessee and their win here against Auburn, certainly has put the rest of the league on notice. This sort of used to be a circle W, not anymore. And going up to play in Blacksburg is always a tough place.
Right. Castle Coliseum. Auburn just utilized its final timeout. And about ready to wrap this one up. Let's see what the Tigers can draw up for one last opportunity. Berking will trigger the inbounds pass. Johnson's got to hurry. 10 seconds remaining.
Through the elevator doors.
Montgomery for 3. Comes up short. Cook with a rebound, and that'll just about do it.
That was close. See there, Hicks went for the steal instead of just to contest the triple, because Montgomery, with a little sidestep, had a good look.
Sidney Cook now a chance to salt this one away. A 23-point outing tonight, 8 rebounds.
She's already been the National Player of the Week for ESPNW, has Jeanette Hicks. And that was coming off her Tennessee performance, where she scored 24 points and had 8 steals. What a stat line tonight. Filling her right side of the box score, Roy.
Yes, she is. So is Cook at the stripe. 4 seconds remaining after the miss, and Montgomery one last shot, and she does not get it off. What a game, and it took an extra 5 minutes to finally settle this one. Virginia Tech remains undefeated now at 11-0, Debbie.
Moving up the polls for Kenny Brooks in his first season with the Hokies. What a terrific job he's done. This is a huge win on the road.
Final score 92-87. 23 for Cook. An impressive performance on the road as Virginia Tech remains undefeated. Coming up next, here it's SEC Now.